years ago, Tinder was something you used to light a fire. Harvey Weinstein was a celebrated producer of many Oscar-winning films, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Fleabag was a one-woman show at the Edinburgh Festival. Fast forward to today, and while women, plus 007, thank you Phoebe, may be better off in some areas, we know the road to equality remains longer and more winding than it should be. Women are 50% of the population, and there's no scientific study I know of which says that men are cleverer, more talented, better judges, doctors, lawyers, managers, politicians or leaders than women are. Talent is equally distributed. The problem is that opportunity is not. It was 27 years ago, back in 1995, when Hillary Rodham Clinton took to the stage in Beijing at the UN's 4th World Conference on Women to present the now infamous case that women's rights are human rights and human rights are women's rights. Healthcare is one of the main areas globally in which women face discrimination based on sex and gender, the other ones being domestic and sexual violence, lower pay, and lack of access to education. As Hillary said, rights are important, but they're nothing without the power to claim them. And in order to claim them, we need to be aware of them and to understand them. No matter how brilliant and talented we are, women's sexual and fertility health hampers opportunities for us in the workplace, particularly because many are unseen and unspoken, and therefore remain unrecognised and unheard. I'm Sophie Neary, and this is Courage is Contagious, our series designed, produced, edited and written by women to shine a light on these underrepresented but hugely important topics. It is 2022 now, so I'm kind of hoping we're all aware of the motherhood penalty and the bias that exists from the moment a woman announces she's pregnant. But in my experience, we are still less aware of the many other female health-related issues which are shrouded in silence, stigma, embarrassment, pain, and most of all, shame. They shackle us and hold us back at work. And so much of this is still tied up in traditional society's definition of womanhood. In order to fix a problem, we have to know it's there in the first place. So Courage is Contagious will hopefully make us all a little bit more conscious of women's health, particularly sexual and reproductive health in the workplace, and to be courageous in normalising conversations around them. Because knowledge is empowering. It can help us stand up for what is right and against what is wrong. We need to acknowledge and open up about these conditions, which aren't shameful, but actually should be recognised as what define us and unite us all as women. Now, of course, these are sensitive and emotional and delicate topics which can be triggering for many of us. And as someone who's child-free, of course I can't claim or even attempt to speak for everyone who identifies as a woman. Which is why we're going to be having open and honest conversations with some very courageous women who've been brave and generous enough to share their different journeys with us. My thanks and deepest gratitude to them all. Our intent is to help everyone understand what we can do collectively, both as colleagues and companies, to make the workplace as equitable and inclusive as possible for all women, and for us all to be better allies, colleagues, managers and employers. Allies, please remember, we don't get to exclude ourselves from the wrong side unless we are actively leaning in, learning and speaking up and out for the right side. So here's to us all, working together towards a world where it's International Women's Day every single day. A world where expectations aren't set by the stereotypes that bind us or shackled by the stigma of fertility issues that can cause so many of us so much stress and pain and shame, but where we are freed by our personal passions, talents and interests to live our best lives and be our best selves. A world where we aren't obliged to impress anyone else with our life choices, and where we have no responsibility to live up to anyone else's expectations of us. Only the strong can be vulnerable, We really do rise by lifting others. And I know that courage can be so very contagious. I do hope you'll come join us now in the conversation. Until then, shine on.